We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made on YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get 50 after Monday Night Raw?
Good evening from Swansea, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. We have some great topics to get into today. We're going to be talking about John Cena's cryptic post, potentially suggesting that he is not going to be retiring later this year. Plus, we are going to be draft ranking some of the most shocking title changes in WWE history. It's going to be a fun show, no doubt about it. But let's introduce the panel for today, and let's kick things off with Clark Taylor. How are you today, Clark?
I'm doing well. I'm stoked to be here, fired up to be back. I had a great Tuesday, two-show Tuesday, as I like to call it. I had the Tuesday Night Delight, and we had Ryan Matthew Lamb. It was a blast, but we've got a special guest again today. I love this. Stoked. Let's get into it.
Absolutely. I am pumped because you said it and it's true. We have another special guest today and they have brought the views out of the gates. A lot of comments over on Twitch. Shout out to everybody and shout out to Numero One Superfly as well over on YouTube. I mean, wow, you really have brought them all in, Takes. How are you, Takes, otherwise known as Cam?
I'm doing well, thank you, Ben. And a big thanks to both of you for having me on the show for the second time. I can't wait to discuss some wrestling tonight.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun one. And let's kick things off by doing a little bit of a snake draft, talking about some of the most shocking title changes in the history of professional wrestling. I mean, there's always going to be a bit of a recency bias with this type of stuff, but I am going to kick it off. And I'm going to kick it off with David Arquette winning the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, Clark, you were watching WCW at the time. This was nuts.
Yeah, what in the wide world of sports were we thinking on this one? That was bizarroe world to say the very least. No doubt about it. One of the funkiest moments in wrestling history. I will say though, the movie was fun. Ready to Rumble. Check it out.
I haven't seen it.
90s classic. It's really
take
funny.
your word for it.
As the elder statesman of this, it's really funny. It's corny as could be though. Strap in, like watch it late at night. Definitely don't watch it when you're like trying to watch a serious film.
I'll have to check it out at some point, but it is basically for younger viewers, like when if Travis Scott won the WWE Championship just randomly on an episode of WWE Speed, because it wasn't even on Nitro, it was on Thunder. I mean, I guess SmackDown, but Thunder wasn't even that level. It was nowhere near even. But Takes, you're up next. What are you picking?
Well, I'm going to go something a bit more recent because, as you said, as the elder statesman, Clark, I don't really know about the David Arquette title change. So I'm going to go for 2009 TLC, Sheamus defeating John Cena for the WWE Championship.
That is a good one, by the way. I
Fantastic
had that in my notes, too. That is a really
I've got
good
quite
pick.
a few. And I was just thinking, Sheamus had only been on the roster for like a few months, hadn't he? So to win the world title against the guy was a real shock, in my opinion.
It undoubtedly was. I remember back in the day, my parents wouldn't let me buy pay-per-views, right? So what I'd do is I'd go on WWE.com and look at the results after it happened. And I was...
Did you have to like hit refresh?
Yeah, literally.
That's got to be a glitch.
It's got to be. I mean, it was just my jaw just hit the floor when I saw that. But a fantastic shout, no doubt about it. And yeah, you're right. He was only on the roster for a few months, was in ECW for a little bit before that, but not very long. Suddenly became the guy defeating the guy, John Cena. But Clark, you're up next. Who are you picking?
I'm going to dive into a bit of history. November 26, 1994, Madison Square Garden in a house show. Untelevised. Diesel, otherwise known as Kevin Nash, defeats Bob Backlund in about a minute with a jackknife powerbomb to win the WWF title. I mean, it doesn't
Nuts.
get any more shocking than that.
And it was like 2 days after he won it too.
Oh,
He
it's
had it for
excellent.
like 48 hours and just dropped it in a house show.
Backlund beats Bret Hart on television and or pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And Diesel, aka Kevin Nash, beats Backlund for the title at a house show. They just released it in the magazine and like said it on Raw and showed pictures of him holding the belt. They didn't show like a highlight of the match. They just showed on Raw like a picture of Diesel celebrating.
Yeah.
They were like,
It was
look what
crazy.
happened when nobody was watching.
They used to do that all the time. They used to just like show highlights from house shows on Raw to like continue a storyline. But this was a bit of a big one. Their world championship changed twice. If you couldn't pay for that pay-per-view and you just watched Monday Night Raw to Monday Night Raw, I mean, you wouldn't know. The internet didn't exist back then. There would have been 2 title changes you didn't know about.
It's fascinating to me that was I mean, the fact that Bob Backlund in 1994 held the title is even crazier because he wasn't even really that over in the 80s. Crossface chicken wing, though, heck of a finisher.
I didn't even realize that Bob Backlund was champion in the 90s. I've never heard of any of this.
Yeah.
He was like 45.
Wow.
He beat Bret Hart with the crossface chicken wing.
Wow. I've never heard of any of this. I can't lie. I mean, I guess I'm a bit too young for it, but yeah.
This is Doink the Clown era. Trust me, Takes. You didn't miss much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't miss much.
Great.
There's some good stuff. There's a ladder match with Shawn and Brett. I would say you should check out some Razor Ramon work. That was solid, but other than that, you can take it or leave it, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, and numero one's putting a couple in there, and so is Bobby Petito. Bobby saying Willow Nightingale winning the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, defeating Mercedes Moné. That actually is a great shout. Nobody expected Mercedes actually lose that match. That's a great one. But up next, Clark, you're back up again. It's a snake draft.
Well, I hate to do this to one of my all-time favorites, Kevin Nash, but he's involved in both of my first 2 picks because I'm going with the finger poke of doom. After Kevin Nash finally defeats Goldberg, which arguably should have been a pick here, potentially, via cattle prod from Scott Hall, they made the executive decision. You got Red and Black, the hottest they ever were, the Wolfpack, the cool version of the NWO. One-on-one with Hogan, Nash and Hogan. Nash is the biggest babyface he's ever been at the time because he was a tweener even in the Goldberg match. And they went finger poke of doom and gave him a black and white t-shirt. What?
I mean, I was just going to say, I wasn't watching at the time, but was that
do this?
Was that the moment where WCW started to go downhill, was it? That's as far as I know, that was the case, right?
I would say it was still okay.
Yeah.
I still go back to, I mean, Sting at Starrcade's pretty, like, you can't. It's pretty unforgivable. Like
Is that the one with the wrong count?
So it was supposed to be a fast count, and then it was just a count. And he got pinned. Yeah. And then it was like Bret Hart came out and was like, restart the match. And it was like, why does Bret get to say that? He doesn't even hardly work here. And why isn't he wrestling? And why is Sting doing the sharpshooter?
It was done. There's no doubt about that. What a great pick.
It was the worst booked match. And it was the classic Hogan, that doesn't work for me, brother, scenario.
It certainly did not work for him or work for the audience either. Takes, what are you taking up next?
Well, once again, it's something a bit more recent, and it's going to be Alberto Del Rio ending the John Cena United States title open challenge alongside Zeb Coulter, which was just a shocking moment to me as a kid. I never expected to see Del Rio alongside Zeb, especially after WrestleMania 29 when he had that big feud against Jack Swagger for the world title as well.
I mean, that is actually a hell of a take, and another one where, you know, I didn't see it coming either, so definitely a good shout. And there's a few comments, I believe, actually mentioning that one earlier. Let me find it now. Here it is. Fiend W6 is Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio. But I actually just realized that comment was also saying you were glazing them. But numero one says, wait, do you know who was the most dominant champion in WCW? vacant. The greatest champion of all time to have won the
Vacant was
title
good.
so many times after so many people vacated the belt. Not a bad one there.
Vacant was rock solid.
And we've got Ant you in the chat as well.
How's it going,
Shout
Ant?
out to you. We have a
The
big announcement
greats.
coming actually very soon about Ant you in the next couple of days. But up next, I am back up and I am going to pick the one which was 8 years ago to this day. It is the reason why we are doing this segment. Jinder Mahal Backlash 2017. Nobody, and I mean nobody, expected him to win this match. The IWC, I mean, I've still not seen anything like it since. There was memes, there was fury, it was unexplainable. Nobody was really happy, but everybody was just, I mean, shocked is the perfect word. It was wild. I mean, I don't know if either of you guys, because I know, Clark, you were kind of like away from wrestling at this time. I don't know if Takes you were watching then.
I wasn't watching at the time either, no, but it's kind of crazy to me because I stopped watching around about 2015, around about the time of the three-man band. And to think that Jinder Mahal was the first member to win a world title before Drew McIntyre is just absolutely crazy to me.
It was nuts. And what's even crazier about it was the report at the time was that WWE, and it was, you know, for the most part true, were bringing back former released stars to bring them back as jobbers because of the brand split. They needed more names because they just brought back the brand split. They brought back Rhino, Heath Slater, and quite a few others as well. And Jinder Mahal just randomly won a six-pack challenge, faced Randy Orton, and then shockingly won. It was so bizarre. Bobby Petito throws another name in the mix. Dominic Mysterio winning the NXT North American Championship. Great shout. Numero one says Jinder Mahal was the only guy to have gone from jobber to main eventer in just 1 month. I mean, I don't think you can find any other examples of that. But I'm back up again now because it is a snake draft. And I'm actually going to go for what many historians consider to be the biggest, the most shocking title change in history of this business, because it was when Bruno Sammartino's 8-year WWF Championship reign was ended by Ivan Koloff in 1971. There was people crying in the crowd. Nobody, and I mean nobody again, saw it coming. I mean, this was before any of us were watching, but I mean, if you were watching during that time and you were there for it, when he'd been, you know, champion for most people's entire fandom, I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah, an 8-year range is crazy, isn't it?
It's nuts.
Wild.
Wildly booked.
Roman
Wildly
Reigns
booked. Pure
title
history.
2.5. Way too crazy. And then to just drop it randomly as well. Nuts. But up next, Takes your up. What are you taking?
This is a bit of a strange one, actually. I don't think anyone will have this on their list, but it's Vince McMahon defeating Bobby Lashley for the ECW title at Backlash 2007.
That's really
I mean,
well done.
just even saying that out loud is just wild. I mean, it was a handicap match, I think, but Vince McMahon beating Bobby Lashley, it just doesn't add up really, does it?
No, it doesn't. That is crazy. I mean, C McKenna 816 likes that shout, and so does Arski Twitch as well. And Sober Mask V3 says such an iconic run that.
It was a good run, to be fair, with Do-Rag Vince, a crazy old time to be watching wrestling.
It was. I mean, I will say this.
Innate
It wasn't a title change, but if it was, Vince pinning God, I think might be the biggest upset in the history of pro wrestling.
Was that Shawn Michaels and God versus the McMahons?
Shawn Michaels and God versus the McMahons, and Vince pinned God.
Wow.
That's something we did.
What was going on in 2007?
That actually happened. What was he doing getting involved in these matches?
Vince McMahon booked himself to go over God. I mean, I think that tells you all you need to know about Vince's mentality.
If that's not a narcissist, I don't know what is.
Wild. Up next, Clark, you're up. What are you taking?
I am gonna go with this is actually a way big throwback, but I just wanted to get it on the list because he doesn't get enough credit. But in 2004 at Taboo Tuesday, Shelton Benjamin totally won the vote for the Intercontinental title match against Chris Jericho, and they did not want Shelton to win that vote. The company had entirely different plans, and then they got out there and Jericho like twisted his ankle or something and changed the finish on the fly. And Shelton Benjamin won his first IC title via T-Bone suplex, and it was not the plan, and no one ever talks about it. And Hulk Hogan still calls him Benjamin Shelton, but it is one of the, if you go back and do the research, 04 Taboo Tuesday, Benjamin defeats Jericho was a comedy of errors to get there.
That must be a nightmare as a booker, though, too, because, it's not gone the way you expected the vote, but you're like, well, we'll just have them go out there and, the champ wins, and then they're forced to do a title change, and you're like, shoot.
If you go back and watch the highlight, it took him like the longest you've ever heard to play Shelton's music when he won, because they obviously had to flip the finish on the fly. So it's like so awkward. The referee's already holding his hands in the air before they hit the finish.
Sebi lad is saying they need to bring that pay-per-view back. They do. I mean, apparently it wasn't rigged, but I still struggle to believe it to this day that was real.
No, it's
Clark,
so funny.
Clark, do you know that vote where Shelton won? Was that supposed to be Dave Bautista that won? Am I correct in saying that? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That was the plan.
Kind of crazy how Shelton got voted more than Batista, because Batista at that time as well was an up and coming star, wasn't he?
Yep, 37%. Yeah. And it was like the same thing happened with Edge and Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. And there was no title change in that match, but Edge was going to win the title for the first time. Had he won the vote as a babyface before he was Rated R Superstar, Shawn won the vote and ended up losing.
Against who?
Wow.
I believe it was. Was
that 2004?
Yeah, so it would have been. It was either 04.
JBL.
It would have been.
I have no idea.
No, this would have been 05, I think, actually. 04 was the Shelton one. I think 05 Taboo Tuesday is the one that I'm thinking of where it was Edge.
Comments let us know that.
I'm like 99.9 that it was 05. I'm going to actually, hang on. I can access this quick.
I see Sorber in the chat saying it was Triple H.
Oh, okay.
I know he was champion a lot during the mid-2000s, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That is right.
Yeah, everybody's saying Triple H.
Wait, no, it's 05. It's the one where it's Cena, Angle, and Michaels in the triple threat. And the third was supposed to be Edge and not Shawn. So it's Cena, Angle, Michaels. It's 05.
Okay.
It's the one that I was thinking of. That's similar where the vote, like, I think that's why they got rid of the voting. They're like, dang it, not getting the one we want.
I think they bring it back though, just one night a year. Like even if it's not kayfabe or something, like do it in NXT just for the fun of it. But Clark, what is your final pick?
So for my final pick, this is tough. I'm gonna go with because we have yet to, I believe, on our lists have a women's title change.
That's a good point.
And I'm gonna go with one of the funkiest ones I've ever seen. It's a cool moment, but it does fit this list. Asuka just finds the title in the Money in the Bank briefcase, and it's all good. Becky's having a baby. Yeah, I was shocked. That's shocking.
Am
I wrong?
An out there shout, isn't it?
It's out there, but I'm just saying.
But I mean, a lot of people are saying they forgot about it, that it was a funny segment. It was a shout, but
I mean.
Oh my gosh. I make beat Stowell Shard.
Yeah, he did. They've got him.
It's a show earlier today. Make sure and check that out.
Do check it out.
Link it in the. Oh, you can't actually. Don't think you can link it on YouTube. Shout it out in the comments and we'll read it out. But up next, Takes. It is your final pick. What are you going to choose?
I'm going to choose the main event of WrestleMania 31, the heist of the century. Seth Rollins beating Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in a triple threat, because we all thought it was going to be Roman Reigns, I think, going to be his moment, his first title. But no, they did a big swerve and Seth Rollins cashed in and became world champion.
It was a hell of a moment. There is no doubt about that. The heist of the century. A lot of people say this is one of their favorite championship wins, and I'm honestly one of them, because I don't even know how to explain it. Just the vibe coming out of that WrestleMania was like so positive. And it's almost like there was going to be a change surrounding it. It was incredible. But up next, to end it, I am going to pick another one for the Intercontinental Championship. Clark, you mentioned Shelton Benjamin. Well, I'm going to mention somebody who debuted to defeat Umaga in 2007. Santino Marella winning the Intercontinental
Oh, that's a
Championship.
great call.
The Miracle of Milan, right?
That is a great call. The Miracle of Milan. Oh, yes.
Just wild.
Outstanding. Honestly, we did like the lists are good.
Yeah. Let's see if our comments think so.
I think so, dude. Like genuinely, we
think
got
they're
some
good.
good ones in here.
I mean, Brandon likes the call, so does Brzezinski, and so does Skinny as well. And yeah, they're happy with our list. So that is a bonus, no doubt about that. But now let's move on. Let's talk about some news which broke today, Clark. Earlier on today, AEW, well, Willow Nightingale, announced to Sports Illustrated that it is a done deal. It is official. She has signed a new contract with All Elite Wrestling. There was a lot of speculation that perhaps she would go elsewhere, but I know you're a huge fan of Willow. Do you think this is the right decision for her?
Absolutely 100%. Even if Takes doesn't agree. I absolutely believe Willow belongs in AEW, deserves her standing in AEW, and she can carry the AEW women's division for years to come in a way that if she goes to WWE now, it's a different scenario. I think down the road, she's a great candidate to be in WWE. I think she'd be fine there now, but she can be the face of the AEW women's division, deservedly so. The run she's on, bell to bell, she's amazing. She's got the it factor, charisma-wise. If you don't like Willow Nightingale, you probably just don't like nice things or good people and things like that. Like, she's the most likable wrestler basically on earth at this stage in my eyes. AEW makes sense because she can be the top of the card there in a way that I think WWE, those are different waters to navigate. And that's why I think for sure AEW was the right choice. She knew what she was doing. I saw her in the lobby at the Palms during WrestleMania week.
That's true.
She was wearing AEW sweatpants. I'm just saying.
I checked our Instagram group chat, and it was just photos of the entire crew meeting Willow. And I was like, I wish I'm there. Wish I was there.
She was so cool. It was so funny because I was like, we started just chatting with her, right? When we walked by. And I just felt guilty because it was in the middle of the lobby. So there's like other wrestling fans around us having a conversation with Willow. And I was like, am I the worst person in the world if I asked for a picture? And she was like, why would that make you the worst person in the world? It was the most Willow Nightingale thing. I was like, oh, I guess it wouldn't. Let's take a picture.
But
Like,
there were a few people in the comments who I don't think watch AEW regularly and have never heard of her. Genuinely, she is ridiculously talented and would have been a huge get for WWE, would have made a major impact in WWE. But to your point, Clark, WWE, could definitely use her and she'd be a big star there. But AEW need her. She's guaranteed to be a big deal there. So I do think for her right now, it is the right choice. Also, Shiv the Gamer says, Takes, you always talk about how much you love Willow.
yes.
He's
one of
being
his favorites.
sarcastic. It's because he knows I don't know a whole lot about her. So he's trying to set me up there by used to putting me on the spot to ask me a question. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to AEW. I watch it now and again, but I don't watch it every week. I can't lie. I don't want to try and proclaim to be
Fair
an
enough.
AEW mastermind.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much content nowadays with wrestling as well. I don't think, it's basically a full-time job to just watch it all.
We're gonna flip
Absolutely nuts.
Takes to being an AEW guy by the end of all this someday.
We'll see.
I'm telling you, we'll do enough Saturday streams on Etsy and things like that. We're gonna flip you.
Okay. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Bobby says Willow Nightingale will be AEW Women's World Champion too. I hope you're right. Fernando says he never doubted it. And Antiu says he loves Willow. Absolutely. Up next, let's talk about... Actually, you know what? You guys just mentioned it. How about Clark? You talk to us for a second about Etsy.
Let's talk about it, guys. I mean, Takes can talk about it as well as I can, but here's the best thing. It's absolutely free and you can download it no matter what type of phone you have. Head over to the App Store or the Google Play Store. Head to the upcoming stream section. You can see me, Takes, sometimes Ben, or I pointed the wrong direction. Takes, sometimes Ben, and you, We the Ones, all kinds of great creators over there. We got all kinds of good stuff going. It's totally free. Create your profile. And the best part is if you want to argue with us about stuff, jump in for a minute, have a nice little chat with us on a stream, you can absolutely do so as long as you have a phone. And it's available on both types of phones or all the types of phones. How many types of phones are there? Either way, that's not the point. ITSY, head over to the App Store or the Google Play Store, download it. It's totally free. And I assure you, you will enjoy it. And you'll probably see me in Takes on Saturday.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Perfect.
We've got a lot of people enjoying Itsy in the comments. Shout out to you. It is a fantastic platform. They are great people over there. And it is just fun to be able to, really connect with, the audience over on there. And like Clark said, you can come on and argue with us. You can tell us we're wrong about everything. And we'll have to just face it, basically. But talking about facing things, John Cena is facing his retirement in only a few months' time. What, less than 6 months now? Just over 6 months? It is coming up quickly. But he posted a picture on Instagram yesterday from one of my favorite movies, actually, The Wolf of Wall Street. He posted a picture of that famous clip where Leonardo DiCaprio says, "I'm not," word I cannot say, "leaving." And I mean, some people are saying that potentially John Cena is not actually going to be retiring. Takes, I want to get your thoughts on this.
Well, what I will say is, if Cena is still the champion come December, I think this will come true and he won't leave, because can any of us feasibly see WWE wanting a vacant title with crowning a new one with a tournament? I don't think so. But I don't think so. I don't think he's going to leave with the belt, but I do think he will leave in December, because he's been going on about how all these fake people have been saying they're going to retire and then coming back year after year, Ric Flair and the kind. And for Cena to criticize that and then do it himself will be a bit hypocritical, in my opinion. Although being a heel, he can be a hypocrite and get away with it. But I think he's going to stay true to his word and leave in December.
I do completely agree with you on that one, Takes. And the only potential way I could see this happening, to your point, is if he does, as a heel, just lies about it or whatever. Yeah. But Money in the Bank, Chicago, 2011, CM Punk, his contract was expiring. Obviously, then it was a work. But he retained the title. He left the company. He blew a kiss and he left. He left the company with the title. Obviously, then came back, and that was against John Cena. What if John Cena's final match is against CM Punk, and it's in John Cena's hometown, and that at that point John Cena really does win, and he really does the exact same thing. He blows a kiss. He leaves the arena and retires as champion, only for him to then come back at the Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble or something like that as champion, and then actually retires at next year's WrestleMania. That's the only potential possibility I could see.
I wouldn't mind that. And then in the meantime, I suppose Punk could win the vacant title, couldn't he? And then Cena could challenge Punk for that title, and it'd be a nice rematch from 2011. But I think with the amount of times he's said it, that he is going to leave, and they've really played on it and sold merch and everything, I think he will just leave in December, in my opinion.
All wrestlers are liars.
That's true. There's not a wrestler I've met who's liars. Not.
Great people, though.
But no, I do agree with you, Takes. Honestly, I can't see him actually going back on his word here. Plus, I do think Cody's actually going to be the one to face him in his last match as well. Yeah, Clark's not a fan.
I think it'll be Cody as well,
Knock it off. What are they just trying to wipe up the mess they made at 41?
Who do you want to see it be, Clark? What's one name you want to see retire John Cena?
I'm saying it the whole time. It's Roman Reigns.
Oh. Nah, it can't be Roman.
It's Roman Reigns.
Nah, it's definitely not Roman. I think Punk, Randy, or Cody. I think it'd be one of them three.
Look at this. I'm getting all kinds of W's. It's Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
is the
it's
answer.
not Roman Reigns.
It's Roman Reigns. Why would you make him a babyface and Cena a heel?
I mean, what do you mean? Why would you make him a... But you
Why
can say
would
the
you
exact
make
same
Cena a
thing.
heel and Roman Reigns is the babyface right now? Just like Cody Rhodes.
You're not wrong there. I mean, it doesn't work. Roman doesn't need it. If it's going to
Also-
be somebody other than Cody, it's really Braun Breaker. But storyline wise, that doesn't really make any sense because you'd
You're
have to
trying
rush a million things.
No, Braun Breaker.
It won't be Bron Breaker either.
It's not gonna be
No,
Braun.
no, now it
That's
won't
like
be.
that's
but
like
if you're
Larry
gonna build
Holmes and
up someone-
Ali. You want it to be Larry Holmes. You want him to take the lamb out the pasture. Larry Holmes and Ali. Go Google that if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Everybody's saying, watch it be The Rock.
Please, not that.
The only
be
thing
crazy.
worse for Clark than Cody is The Rock. But yeah, I think it is going to be Seth Rollins, to be honest with you. Couple of other comments I'll quickly read out. I'll not be reading out that one from David Hall. That's incredibly mean. Fernando says wrestlers don't really retire if they are not seriously injured. He would come back like in 7 years and do one more. I think he is done. I don't think he's doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. John Cena's in pretty good shape for a guy of his age. I feel like he's
No
got a
way
few
he's
more
doing a Shawn
miles left
Michaels.
in the tank. Why not? Why
The
wouldn't
difference
he?
is Michaels not needed the money, but he said that was still a life-changing amount of money
It
he was
doesn't
being
matter.
offered.
Money
Cena-
talks. Period.
But not to
Nobody
Cena. He's
has
already-
enough. That's just
I
the
don't
reality.
think so.
You can't have enough money. If they
Yeah, but
offer enough money, he'll do it.
Clark, do you not think Cena could make more in Hollywood though in the same time period?
Yeah, he could.
Maybe, but guess what? Sometimes the Hollywood well starts to run a little dry. Get on a cold streak. You know, they stop casting bald characters at some stage.
Well, he's now got
The
hair again,
transplant
so-
doesn't
Yeah.
fit in as well as you thought it did. I don't know. All kinds of different things happen. They get rid of, like he doesn't get the comedy roles. He starts doing serious stuff. He's not as good at drama. It can happen to anybody. Hollywood's a gnarly place.
Oh gosh.
You can come back for 10 million to just start like hitting AAs again. Why would you not? 5
Yeah,
moves
yeah.
to doom and a paycheck. All game.
I
It's
don't
just
think
good.
it's gonna happen, Clark. Come on, man. You can't
Hey,
seriously.
I
think
can
this is
say that.
true.
I'm a bald guy myself.
What? Oh, that is hilarious. Bobby Petito says, do you think Cena will face Joe Hendry before Cena retires? Hendry is pushing for that match. I don't think so, unfortunately,
I
but
don't
I
think we'll
really
see
hope
that.
I'm wrong.
I mean,
Moz says Hollywood will not be
yeah,
hiring
no,
you,
I'm in
unfortunately,
trouble.
Clark. You're out.
100%.
You're
It's
done.
the worst. As soon as they stop casting bald actors, we're dead. Even The
Fuck.
Rock's in trouble at that stage.
Yeah.
He'll be back in WWE in no time. Austin's returning. Think about it, guys.
It's just a
Be a big
retirement home.
wave of people.
LA Knight will suddenly be the youngest guy on the roster. Right, up next, let's talk about Saturday night's main event, because I was made aware of a little bit of a actually quite big issue yesterday. That's that they booked no women's matches for this show. And I mean, surely that's not actually going to be the case. Surely they're going to add one. No way are they just not going to have any women's matches on the show. But the issue is, it's this Saturday. So what are they going to book in the very short amount of time they have left? Takes, what's your take on this?
I've got a bit of a theory, I think they might have done this on purpose. I could be wrong, but we do have Evolution coming up, right? The all-female pay-per-view. Maybe this is their way of equaling things out and fulfilling all the men's storylines at this show, seeing as they won't be able to at the Evolution show. It might not be the way they're going, but there is a few feuds that I'm surprised aren't on this one, such as Jade Cargill and Naomi. I thought that would be on this show, among others, but my theory probably isn't right, but it'd be interesting if it was.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could potentially see that being the case. I mean, the other thing is, the rumor date for Evolution, I think, is a week before or after a show in Saudi Arabia as well. But obviously, there are women's matches now, but there's usually less with less time. So perhaps that could be, something to level out that as well, just like it was with the original Evolution. But I don't know. Even still, I really hope they do put at least one women's match on this card, because it's just so stacked right now, their roster, and it just doesn't feel like at times, Clark, that they're getting the opportunities they do deserve.
I would assume we're going to get one women's match. Is it enough? Maybe not. I don't know. But I actually am in complete agreement with takes on look. If you're going to build an Evolution pay-per-view, the roster size is smaller on the women's side. You have to pay off a lot of storylines there. You're filling the card with only women. So I do understand that maybe it's a little bit lesser. It's got to be one match, though, Ben. That's where I'm like, dude, it's got to be something, right? Just because it would be... It's underwhelming if you have an all men's card. It just is. At this stage, the way wrestling booking works and the way what we expect, there's got to be, whether it's a Zelina Vega match or something like that. That would be my hope, I guess, because we have Friday Night SmackDown between now and then, right? My hope would be something booked in that regard. Maybe maybe a world or a title match. I don't know. But something, and I think that's what we'll see Friday, hopefully early in the show too. So it doesn't feel like it was just booked and then built in a half a day. It feels like there's a little bit more time. You can maybe do a payoff segment later in the show after you book it early in the show, with the SmackDown being a bit longer. I'd be cool with that. And that's my opinion on it. It's an odd thing, but again, back to what Take said, if you're going to have an Evolution pay-per-view, it is tough to pay off too many storylines early when the taping is so soon.
I think I know what they're going to do. I have a prediction. And my prediction actually links back to this comment from Brandon Hur saying they could have done Tiffy versus Nia at Saturday night's main event. I mean,
yeah, that's
what if they do a segment like on this week's show and then they do like a cage match or something at Saturday night's main event?
Well, that'd be cool.
Or just something like that. Because here's the thing, I think we're all pretty much in agreement that it's incredibly likely R-Truth versus John Cena is going to last about a grand total of 30 seconds. So while Triple H, I know Clark thinks we're going to have, Ron Killings coming back and all that, but I don't. So here's the thing. I know Triple H does like 4-match cards at times, but I don't think those are 4 matches which can fill that full amount of time. I do think they're going to have one other match. So they'll do something. I mean, let us know in the comments what you guys think it should be. We got C. McKenna saying could have even throw in an EO versus Rhea. That would have been
they should have done that on Monday.
Yeah, well, that's when they should have done it. Yeah. Listen, I'll say this. Don't be a David Hall in life, right? With just disgusting comments like this.
Wow.
Instead, be a David Marge with great comments like this, right? We deserve it. We deserve it. We do. We should have a women's match
One thing
this
I'm
Saturday.
saying about Truth, though. Truth is going to wrestle. This is not going to be 24/7, 35/7, whatever, I-95, our Truth. This is going to be Raw and the Truth freaking Killings. This is going to be a full match. John Cena's in there because he trusts him on this retirement tour. And there's a reason that they booked it when they booked it. This is not going to be a squash. If McAfee can go out there and carry Gunther the way he did. I'm kidding. The other way around. You knew what I meant. Either way. No.
Wild take there.
No. Gunther carry McAfee. John Cena and R-Truth can go. And everyone knows how good R-Truth is. R-Truth is going to put on his... Here's the thing. R-Truth will not get a retirement tour like John Cena. But this is his last great main event match. And that's why this won't be short. That's why this won't be undersold. And R-Truth deserves credit for... He's a Hall of Famer in my eyes. No question.
Yeah.
NWA champion. His resume speaks for itself. R-Truth is... Ron Killings is a Hall of Famer. This is... As much as it's Cena's retirement tour, it's not his yet. He's probably not going to retire, but it's his last shot at something like this.
Yeah.
It's his last shot in a main event scene. This will be a longer match than people expect. It'll be a more competitive match than people expect.
The reason why I really don't think that it's true, and Shiv the Gamer saying L David W David, yeah, that's true. But the reason why I don't think it's going to go very long, Clark, is I think we are forgetting their combined age is over 100 years old here.
Doesn't
right?
matter.
R-Truth is 53. John Cena is
It's only if
48.
you believe in math. R-Truth's
I do
childhood
believe in
hero
that.
was John Cena. He grew up idolizing this man, Ben. Do you not understand that? Age is just a number. And your ageism is getting old, my friend. R-Truth is as athletic and as fast as anybody in the world. Is
The
anybody.
comment is saying I
He
don't
can
get
still
it.
go.
I mean,
He
Ben, I
still
must
go.
say, I do agree with Clark in the sense that R-Truth, he may be 53, but he doesn't look it and he doesn't act it in the ring. He can go with like the 25-year-olds. He really is good when it comes to an in-ring competition, in my opinion.
But he hasn't since his injury.
Fair point.
Stop it. You and your
But
negativity.
Maybe
You're
he's just
trying
been
to speak
saving
it into
himself for this big
existence.
match.
Maybe. I by the way, guys, I hope I'm wrong here. I really want to be proven wrong. I'm a big R-Truth guy, but I just don't think this is going to go.
Not even
Nor
R-Truth,
should
this
it
is
go longer
Ron
than 1
Killings.
minute to
This
me.
is K-Quick. I hope he comes out in the baggy jeans, starts freaking doing the splits, freestyle raps
Just
on the
have
way
a
out
fun
there.
60 seconds. And
Laying
then
in
have John Cena
elbows,
break everyone's heart.
15 minutes. This is my favorite comment. That's the perfect amount of time.
Sober.
I've got a favorite
Right
comment
there.
as well. R-Truth moves better than Martin Odegaard. I like that one.
He does.
Don't you dare talk about our captain like that. Don't you dare. But R-Truth is going to win, says Potato Pride. Monkey Mike says I'm the most negative person he's ever seen. No, I'm looking forward to it. I just don't think he can go that long. But this has been a
Do you
fun
even
show,
believe in
guys.
Joe Hendry?
I believe in Joe Hendry. I was saying his name and he appeared on World of Sport back on the day. Never mind TNA.
Put some belief into Ron the Truth Killings.
Exactly.
Listen, I hope he proves me wrong, but thank you guys so much for watching. All the new viewers over on Twitch, I hope you enjoyed as well. We're live every single day, so make sure to come and check us out if you did enjoy it. Thank you to special guest Takes for joining us, also known as Cam here today. It has been fantastic to have you on with us. And as always, thank you to Clark as well. We will talk to you guys very, very soon. Have a good one.